You awaken to a very nauseous feeling in your gut. The clock reads 8:03 p.m. Emma has not been home for hours. You plop down on the living room couch and flip through the television, where a middle-aged anchorman reports. The CDC, via the White House, has just announced that over 20% of the world is infected with the virus Zika. Reports are coming in from around the globe of a massive spread of this terrible infection that attacks the brain and the nervous system, quickly disabling the victim, in effect reanimating the body of the affliction. Moments ago, we heard from Dr. Anthony Willis, who has treated the infected, and stated that they show deterioration of the bone and muscle, a yellowing of the skin, lack of fine motor abilities described as a drunken walk, and an inability to speak. Dr. Willis goes on to explain that the virus affects primitive areas of the brain and acts as a parasite which rewires the nervous system of the host to take over functions of the body. Infected become aggressive, attempting to bite or otherwise injure others and pass on the virus. This just in, Governor Tate has declared a state of emergency, and the National Guard have come in to keep peace in the streets and enforce mandatory curfew of 9 p.m. You peer outside of the apartment, and from 7 stories up you notice crowds of people formed outside. Sirens blare as police vans and cruisers skirt up and down the streets, and news helicopters swarm overhead. You remember now, the infection. It was only a few days ago. You first heard of the outbreak. Emma mentioned reports that the hospital were fatal, highly contagious virus spreading like a forest fire if the forest was doused with gasoline. The lights flicker, and the television set dims and cuts off. Lights stream in through the apartment windows, casting a golden glow through the air which fades into the recesses of the room. Don't know why I said it like that. You hear movements in the hallway outside the apartment and rush to the door. All is silent. You wait and listen, pressing your ear to the hardwood surface. Silence. You move back to the television and flip the power on and off. Nothing. The dim ambient light from the outside coats the room. Time creeps by as you consider your next move. A sharp scratching noise seeps through the ceiling. Once, then twice. Metal scraping cement. You spin in a full circle. The sound comes from the floor above. The scratching builds into harsh screeches, like a fork digging deeper and deeper into the styrofoam plate. The sound intensifies for several minutes and then ceases. The television pops back on. Pictures of infected running through the city across the globe cover the screen. Police and military attempt to subdue the creatures, now called zombies by the media. An announcer describes the macabre truth that infections are spreading rapidly and caution viewers to stay indoors at all costs. From overhead, you hear a loud thump and the crash of broken glass. An explosion of footsteps rings from the hallway, and several screams cut the air. You think of Emma out in the city. If zombies are running rampant through the streets, uncontrolled by the police, what chance does she have? You need to reach her. There is no landline, and your cell phone is missing. She could be on her way back, but you have no way of reaching her from the apartment. Then again, there's nothing keeping you here. You change into jeans and a t-shirt and grab a quick sandwich and a glass of water. After eating, you realise a few items may come in handy, should you have to leave or your situation in the relative comfort of an apartment changes. You decide it's best to take a gun. Take a gun! Ooh, shotgun. Always a shotgun. You can't beat the stopping power of a shotgun. And even a zombie will think twice when you plump a slug in the chamber. You take a shotgun from inside a closet and grab a box of shells. What the hell is your sister doing with a shotgun anyway? One more item is all you can take. The next thing you choose is should we be practical? I mean, we could probably steal some on the way, but a multi-tool is pretty useful. Yeah, let's do that. You feel more comfortable with tools in your pocket, and a multi-tool gives you enough work with the within basic situations. You take your super duty multi-tool, which comes with a serrated knife edge, good for cutting bread, pliers, wire cutters, a few screwdrivers, a saw edge, a bottle, and a can opener, and a ruler. Fucking hell, that is usually that is useful. Now it's time to make a decision. Emma is a smart and capable young woman, but it's your job to watch over her. You can't head out and look for a phone, or just leave the building and find her in the city below. On the other hand, it may be the best to learn more about the virus, and you could watch the news or search the internet while the power is on. Yeah. We're intelligent, apparently. You check the locks on the door, and put a heavy chair under the doorknob. You hear no one. Oh, for goodness sake, I can't speak. You hear no more movement in the hallway and return to your living room to learn of any updates on the news. The anchorman looks shaken as he peers into the camera and reports of developments, along with the live helicopter feed only a few blocks from your apartment building. We have reports from all over the city of infected creatures, zombies, not sure what to call them, attacking and biting people. The video we are showing is disturbing, and we only show this to represent the gravity of the situation. The anchorman clears his throat and goes silent as images of violent attacks stream over the television in some sick silent horror film. An infected woman crosses the screen, her skin yellow with dark green lesions, hair filthy and matted, mouth open with reddish strings of saliva drooling out, and limbs twisting and writhing as if in a perpetual seizure. Across the street, an older man is locking the gate of his furniture shop. The zombie sprints forward, arms flailing, legs stiff. The owner turns and spots the creature. In the silence of the footage, you cannot hear him scream as she leaps onto his chest. Her momentum drops him to the ground. The camera zooms in as the zombie burrows her teeth into the shop owner's face. Blood squirts and streams up and over her. You would have thought if you were like filming that you would have helped the dude. Jeez, or like called out to him. The lights in your apartment flicker and go out, along with the television. The hum of the building's electrical power fades, leaving the apartment in complete silence, except for the scratching noise coming from down the hall. You realise you must reach Emma somehow, either call her by phone or find her outside in the city. It is best to head downstairs and deal with the chaos. You head into the hallway. Someone will let you use their phone to call Emma. They have to be others still in the building, behind locked doors. Finding your sister is your only priority. That and staying alive. The lights flicker and cast an eerie glow all around. Power fluctuates on and off and on and off. It's silent again. Way too silent. You head to the apartment. Antiques dealer. I mean, well, kind of don't have a choice, do we? You knock at the door, but you notice it's ajar. No light escapes the small opening. Static from a television or a radio permeates the air. This is Arthur Connor's... Why? Interrupting me. This is Arthur Connor's apartment, and an antiques dealer. He usually keeps his shop open late in the evening. Your sister mentioned him a few times, mostly to tell you to avoid him at all costs. Arthur is quite old, probably in his late 70s, and on the one occasion you did meet him, about as friendly as a starving hyena. Nice. He won't take too kindly to you being in his apartment without permission. Yeah, let's stay away from this dude. I don't like this. You sigh and close the door. not even wanting to call in the old man and chance waking him and hearing an earful about privacy and staying out of people's personal space and blah blah blah. You think you should check another apartment. You head into 7C. You knock on the door and receive no response. After several minutes, you hear nothing from inside. You check the doorknob. It's unlocked. You sigh and enter the apartment. Hanging in the middle of the room is a short, thin man, his neck tilted to the right by a rope hanging around his neck. Fun. Dangling in the room, with an expressionless face, he appears as a puppet on a string, dressed in a navy blue business suit. He is pale white, with blue lips and thick, sagging, purplish skin under the eyes. A slight swaying from side to side is his only movement. A makeshift noose leads from his neck to the ceiling fan, and a stool lies on its side a few feet from the man. His apartment is well furnished, with a widescreen TV hanging on the wall, leather couches, modern art, and a full bar set up on the far right side of the room. You do a quick scan of the area, but see no phone. There may be a cell phone on him, but that means searching the dead body. Search the man! Oh, why can't I pray for him? Oh, because I didn't pick the one who writes a sermon. Whomever that may be. Maybe a priest? I don't think women can be priests. Maybe they can. I don't know. You move over to the hanging businessman and stop his body from swinging. You check his pant pockets and find them completely empty. Then look through his coat and remove a folded piece of paper and a checkbook. The note is handwritten message. He reads, which reads, "To whoever finds me, I'm sorry I couldn't handle this life anymore, but this infection is spreading and soon we will all be food for the zombies. I cannot stand the thought of living in such a world, constantly struggling and fighting for my survival. I tried to call my mother and father, but the networks were down. If you found me, please get in touch with my parents, Arthur and Jean Dobson. I've written them a cheque for £25,000, not pounds, dollars, in my pocket, and offer it to you to find them and tell them I'm sorry. Thomas." You look up from the note and spot the body twitching. You fall backward, knocking over an end table, which hits the ground with a hard thump. Thomas's eyes open, and he thrashes about, slowly at first, then intensifying to an almost convulsive state. His skin has yellowed, and greenish lesions have formed all over all parts of visible skin. He struggles in mid-air, flailing his arms about, but is unable to reach you. Slender hooked fingers claw the air, blood-stained eyes track your movements. While he seems securely stuck to the ceiling, you're not sure how long it will take for the cord or the ceiling fan to give way. So you back into the hallway, closing the door behind you. You realise that staying upstairs is a waste of time, and if you want to find Emma and get out of the city, you'll have to make your way downstairs.